It's been more of the same this week as the Broncos are desperately looking for answers on offense and aim to build on their dominance on defense. Hey everyone, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button and the like button. Because if you don't like it, what are you even doing here? Seriously, please subscribe. MHR Live. Thank you. Hey Broncos Country, I'm Lori Lattimore Volkman, and this is the Roundup. Broncos will host the Raiders this weekend for the second matchup of the season, and they'll be hoping for a little bit different outcome. In the last meeting, the Josh McDaniels-led Raiders bested the Broncos in a super frustrating 32-23 win. In a game that should never have been the way it was. It was a game where the offense actually scored some points, but the defense could not stop running back Josh Jacobs. Last week against the Titans, however, the Broncos' run defense did show that it can be formidable, as they held Derrick Henry to just 53 yards. They'll be looking to do the same against Jacobs this week.
Somebody's got to win this game. I mean, it's been a lot of one-point scores between, or not 1 point, but one-score games between both of the clubs. You know, it speaks to, you know, they're a really good football team. I know everybody looks at records, but in the NFL, I believe that everybody's really, really good, and somebody's going to have to make that final play.
Helping the Broncos defense will be hopefully getting back some key injured players, including Justin Simmons, hopefully Baron Browning, and even possibly Randy Gregory. One defender who will definitely be on high alert again is Pat Surtain. While many teams have avoided Surtain, Derek Carr and the Raiders did not. While both players got the best of each other at times, Surtain certainly won many of the matchups. The Broncos stuck Surtain on an island against Adams, and he proved he was up to the task. The young cornerback is certainly looking forward to doing the same again this weekend.
Teams have stayed away from you. The Raiders didn't. They have Davante Adams. How much are you looking forward to this round two with him?
I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, when I look at the first game, there's some things I could correct going against him. Just some minor adjustments, but, I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, he's a great player. And, so it's going to be a matchup. It's going to be a showdown.
While both beat-up teams will be fighting for a much-needed, possibly irrelevant win, it's going to be the coaches who are the most watched all game. Both Josh McDaniels and Nathaniel Hackett are on the hot seat. However, information came out this week that supposedly McDaniels' job is safe for 2023. That is not the case for Hackett. Earlier this week, Broncos radio host Benjamin Albright joined Sports Talk Chicago to talk about the Broncos, and he mentioned that Hackett is likely going down with the ship.
You said if and when on the coaching staff is Coach Hackett on the hot seat.
Oh, very much so. Very much so. And I would be shocked if he was back next year. It's just this offense is just in over its head, and he continues to give the same platitudes over and over about, we need to be accountable. Well, accountable to who? Because you're losing, and it doesn't appear like you're accountable. You came out of the bye week and had 2 weeks to prep for the Tennessee Titans, who aren't exactly the most three-dimensional team in the world, and put up 10 points. I understand their defense is all right, but dude, you put up 10 points, 7 of which came on an audible from the quarterback and a busted coverage. And that was it. Like the rest of it, you got a field goal, run your offense, dude. You got to figure stuff out. And he had the opportunity to turn over play calling, wouldn't do it. And that was what saved, I hate to keep going back to the Eagles as an example, but that's what saved Nick Sirianni. Last year, everybody told Nick Sirianni he looked like he was in over his head. They were making fun of him nationally. The Eagles were an embarrassment. They were like 3-6. And he turned play calling over to Shane Steichen, stepped back, and sure enough, they took off. And, he had the opportunity to do that and didn't do it. And so now I think he's going down with the ship.
Despite the quick sinking ship, however, the head coach continues to put his best face forward and talk about accountability.
I think in the end, it's about, like we've talked about, is accountability. I think that it starts with me, and I want to always hold myself accountable, make sure that I'm giving the guys the ample opportunities to make plays, and then just talking about all the different things that we can do better as a team. And so
when asked about the identity of the offense, at least the coach had a little bit of a sense of humor.
Coach, what would you say your offensive identity is right now?
It's not a good one.
He also acknowledged the poor performance of his offense and mentioned it has to change.
It hasn't been a very successful offense, and we have a lot of things that we want to get better at, and we want to be sure that we continue those opportunities for the guys and continually get better options for the guys. And for us right now, a lot of improvement to be able to gain that identity.
But Coach Hackett isn't the only one under pressure. Highly scrutinized quarterback Russell Wilson also faces quite a test. While his job is safe because of the nature of his contract, if he wants to maintain the loyalty of Broncos country, he needs to do better.
First of all, I got to play better. It starts with me. I got to find ways to make some more plays out there for us. I've been down before. Doesn't mean that we can't come out on the other end of it all. And what it takes is a lot of work ethic, and it takes a lot of appreciation for continuing to give everything you have every day.
A big question mark this week against the Raiders will be the Broncos' offensive line. Down to 3 third-string players last week against the Titans. A few of the starters, or at least only the second stringers, could be back this week. Tom Compton and Graham Glasgow are likely to be playing. Cross your fingers, Broncos country, because that's the best hope against a stout, even if underperforming, Raiders defensive line.
Long list.
Do you expect Tom Compton to play this week?
We sure want him to. He's a player that's played a lot of games in this league. We need him. We need him for this team. So this is going to be a big week for him, I think, to be able to take a big step forward. Right now, we feel like we've dodged a little bit of a bullet with Graham. I think after kind of walking out on the field, seeing how he was reacting, I was a little nervous, but he's really bounced back very well.
Regardless of the outcome on Sunday, it's very clear that Broncos country is losing patience with the team in general. So it will be important for this team to prove it has something to play for and something for fans to look forward to. While many of the goals prior to the 2022 season, like having a winning record and making the playoffs, are pretty much out the window, there are still some things this team can play for that matter. Number one, this defense keeps kicking ass, and it can continue to do that the rest of the season. And while playing for pride isn't what anybody wants to do, it actually makes sense for a unit to play for ending the season as the number 1 defense in any category. That's legit, and this Broncos defense can do it. Unfortunately, the goals for the offense are set much lower, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world just to see this team string together a few wins, and maybe even score more than 20 points. What a concept. 30's fine too, Broncos. You're allowed to go above and beyond. But seriously, this offense needs to prove it can work, that it can understand what Russell Wilson's doing, that Russell Wilson can understand what Hackett's doing, that the team can understand what moving the ball means. Something that looks better than Pee Wee football out there. I guarantee Peyton Manning's son's flag football team could beat this offense. I have to take too many deep breaths for you. Please stop it. The Broncos' schedule certainly does not lend itself to a lot of continuity for wins. With 8 games left, if they could possibly win 5 out of 8, that would be a huge success. Ending 5-3 on the season while not giving you a very good record overall would still be amazing. And if they could just pull off one upset, beat the Ravens, beat the Chiefs, that would also say that somehow this team can work. But really, consistency is key. This offense has to move the ball consistently down the field. It has to have more than one good drive in a half. It has to try to score on back-to-back drives. These are baby steps, but important baby steps. Please, Broncos, please. Regardless, the first order of business is beating the Raiders. They are a bad team, but it's a rivalry game, and those are always tough to play. But this one's at home, it's at Mile High. Do not disappoint the fans. We hate this team, we hate their coach, we hate their uniforms, we hate their fans. Those are 4 great reasons to beat the Raiders on Sunday.
Back in after that big penalty, moved him back. Gordon the back, 2nd and 7. Rush going deep. Oh, and he's got him! He's got him! At the 5! Hamler, first catch of the season. Let's have that deep half. Put him at the 3. Russ. Diving. Touchdown, Denver.
Hackett, your job is on the line. Russell, your integrity is on the line. But that doesn't matter right now. What matters is us. Broncos country, we need this win. Kick the Raiders' ass, and we'll talk about the rest of the season next week. Because I want to say let's ride, but I want to mean it. And right now it's like, no. Let's ride, damn it. Let's fucking ride.